Reaction fast and furious to the column that has now cut a nerve and cut Nancy Pelosi little slack, even from Democrats. Welcome, everybody. I'm Neil Cavuto. And you know things are bad for the speaker when a top Democratic senator all but says, stop speaking. Claire McCaskill today defending a town hall protester's right to protest health care reform on the same day Nancy Pelosi and Steny called un-American those who protest too much or too loudly. All too over the top for Republican leader John Boehner, who today called the comments outrageous and reprehensible. Even the President of the United States choosing to step back from the heat here while commenting on reform efforts south of the border in Mexico today.
Having a vigorous debate in the United States, and I think that's a healthy thing.
Steve Laser wonders what all the fuss is about. The editor for Op-Ed News says Pelosi didn't say anything other health care reform advocates have been saying for weeks, that protesters are getting a little nutty. But all of them? All of them?
Well, you know, here's the thing, Neil. Let me cut right to the chase. The problem here is that, you know, these town hall protesters, they're denying the dozens and hundreds of other people who have come to these meetings to try to get their opinions across on health care. They're denying those folks their free speech. You know, I know there's a lot of other protests that have happened in the past by liberal groups, but one of the things you notice is there's a line that they don't cross, and that's they don't protest town hall forums and open town hall debates and open forums, because those are the opportunities for people to interface with their elected officials.
Are you watching and looking at the same town hall forum history I am?
I am.
When Tom Tancredo had a forum in 2006, he wanted to give a speech to Michigan State University. He was heckled. There were 3 violent incidents. He was called a racist. He was spit on. He was kicked. Another was punched. So
Absolutely.
that was not bad.
No,
this
it was.
is?
No, I absolutely disagree with that, and I think that's the point at which we all have to draw the line. Now, it's free speech. These folks are perfectly allowed to do it, and I would fight if somebody, you know, tried to pass a law that said that they couldn't. But it's wrong for them to deny all those other folks across America who have something to say about health care. And I'll tell you, Neil, there's going to be a backlash against this. You know, people are going to look at this and say, if this is what the anti-health care reform movement has to do in order to stop health care, then their arguments must be weak. You know, go up to the mic at the town hall forum and make your argument.
Well, then, Steve, I don't know where your rage was in October 2007 when Condoleezza Rice was heckled by a Code Pink member. And that became a big scene with fake blood, the blood of millions of Iraqis in your hands. Then it was a proper use of protest and a free American right. All I'm saying is what's good for the goose should be good for the gander, right?
Well, no, if they want to go and they want to protest one of Pelosi's speeches, if they want to go to a hearing on health care on the Hill, they want to try to disrupt that. Now, they have to realize they're probably going to be arrested, like these folks are being arrested that you're showing. That's okay. Don't disrupt other Americans' opportunities to be heard, though. That's the problem here. That's why there's so much...
But free speech is free speech, right? In April 2003, Hillary Clinton was criticizing the lack of free speech on an issue. Listen to this.
I am sick and tired of people who say that if you debate and you disagree with this administration, somehow you're not patriotic, and we should stand up and say we are Americans and we have a right to debate and disagree with any administration.
She didn't sound calm.
No, she didn't. And I happen to agree with her. And I don't think that's a conflict with what I'm saying here about the town hall forums. Absolutely. And I'll tell you again, Neil, I want to reiterate the point. If somebody tried to arrest these folks or try to pass a law saying they couldn't do it, then all of a sudden I would have to switch sides here. But it's a really bad situation when one of the few opportunities people have to talk directly to their elected officials are disrupted. That is un-American. The people aren't un-American.
But Steve, you're assuming that all of these events are disrupted and all of these forms meet the similar fate. When someone is asking a congressman, have you read the bill, and the congressman says, well, I haven't, but I've delegated it, or someone says, I'm pretty sure there's not going to be a public option, but I can't be sure of it, or someone else has said, we're looking into all of these concerns, but we can't be guaranteed we're going to address all of them for you. What's to stop a lot of people of all ages and of all political stripes from striking back and getting angry? That is the American way, and our history is replete with both sides, as I've just indicated, expressing their wrath.
Well, I hope that isn't happening in too many situations with people saying that they haven't read the bill, especially, you know, our elected officials who are up there.
It happened with Arlen Specter and it happened with Kathleen Sebelius, and that scared a lot of folks because these guys are relative point persons on this whole health care debate.
Yeah, I'd hate to be either one of those guys right now. But in all honesty, to your point, there's nothing wrong with people at a town hall forum and getting after these guys for saying something like that. That's absolutely shameful. But to have a concerted effort to make sure that the other folks who are at that forum don't get a chance to be heard, that's the problem.
But
that's
you're
why so many
assuming,
people,
Steve, the other folks are not getting heard. You're assuming that some of the other forums that have happened have not come on to address the issues that a lot of folks hold dear. They've acted up in a lot of these forums when they either haven't gotten a straight answer or politicians are dodging them on these answers. That's when they act up. They don't do unsolicited act up. Now, are there cases where there are a little histrionics going on here? Yeah, but I think it's safe to say, and from the examples I mentioned, that this is something that no party holds over the other. Right?
Yeah, I disagree. As a matter of fact, a couple of days before these town halls even started, there was a memo leaked from, I don't remember which Republican strategy group, but they actually talked that this was going to happen, and they encouraged people to stand up and disrupt the town hall forums. I think that's also a big issue.
Did you feel the same way when Code Pink and other groups were saying that any time an administration official is in a public forum or they're speaking out on the war, anything having to do with the war, that we're going to crash that? Where was your rage then?
Well, I haven't seen that many instances of Code Pink actually doing that. I think that they've pretty much...
Are you kidding? I could run it in a loop and it could be its own news channel.
No, they've attacked hearings. They protested hearings. They've protested... They protested the Republican convention. And I would agree with those things. I think the people who are at these town halls doing the same thing should also confine their activities to those types of events. I just don't think this is the right place, Neil.
All right, Steve. I wish they could be as calm as you. Steve, thank you very much. Good seeing you again.
Thank you, Neil. You too.
Well, now two protesters who resent being called nutty or un-American, both lifelong Democrats who oppose the president's health care plan as it stands right now. Now, they just attended a fairly lively rally in Michigan. Barbara and Bill Cornish joining me right now from Southfield, Michigan. Barbara and Bill, welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
Hi, Neil.
First off, I'm going to get the obligatory question out of the way. Did anyone put you up to attending the rally?